right, hey everybody, welcome to BP1. It's the BP1 Proxy channel.
To discuss all things EOS.
I'm one of your hosts, Ben Sigmund, and we're here with
Brock Pierce and
Justin Buck.
This is a new show, episode 1. We're here to be your stewards to help you know what's going on in the EOS community and make sure that you Brock or rock the vote. The community needs you engaged.
Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. So we're going to talk about the proxy, what it means, why we're doing it, and how you could get involved. We're going to talk about encouraging whales to get voting, or any token holders, just be out there getting your vote in, why it's important, and how to vote safely. And we're going to talk about the decision-making process of the proxy and what kind of things that are going on in our Telegram channel.
I guess we'd like to start out with, I think, a big thank you to the 71 accounts that have already assigned a proxy for some portion of their tokens to us to steward the vote. Considering we haven't promoted this at all, other than creating like a Telegram group, I think we're off to a good start.
Yeah, pretty good start. Yeah, definitely. Thank you to everyone who's decided to vote with us in this effort, and we're really excited about the proxy. We've been having some really great discussions about a bunch of different things, like including which block producers we're voting for and which ones we're not, and the reasons that we're choosing them, and also a referendum, and come up with lists of, reasons that people want to support referendums, and reasons that people don't want to support them.
Yeah, the thing that I've found most surprising through this process is I think our little Telegram group has become, of all the groups that I'm a part of, probably the having the highest level discussions around the EOS ecosystem, which was not the intent for this group. I think it was really just to talk about the proxy. But this is like, it's kind of like who's who have all started to show up in this little chat group. I'm assuming once it becomes hundreds and hundreds of people, like most groups, it'll become less useful. But right now, it's kind of the place to be.
It's really good. A lot of good block producers in there, and people that are just very active in the community, coming in to chat about the topics that are important to everyone who's involved with EOS. And I think people just also want to talk with you about it. So I think everyone's excited to hear that Brock's involved. Brock is a proxy, and now things can start moving.
Well, to be clear, that Brock Pierce proxy, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. I'm one of a team, even though it's branded with my name.
That's true, yeah.
Well, Justin, since Ben and I are doing all the talking, anything you'd like to say as we kick this off?
I just want to third the sentiment and say I'm really happy to be a part of this project. It came out of the blue in the EOS Proxies Telegram channel, and I asked to be a part, and you had me a part, and I'm really happy. I think we're doing well so far. I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being a part of it, Justin. We're so happy to have you on board.
Awesome.
Yeah,
having a good time.
The future is bright. So I guess since Brock Pierce 1 is a proxy, we should probably kick off this conversation now that we've expressed some gratitude to block producers. We've chosen 30.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth just kind of throwing out there. Maybe each of us wants to talk about one block producer, honor them a little bit,
absolutely,
and why we like them. Go for it.
Go for it, Justin.
Yeah. So in this time, I've come to be a part of the EOS community, which I absolutely love. I think one major thing that I've done is just ask a ton of questions. And what's so cool is how much the community is willing to help you learn, show you sources. And I'll say, I think EOS Canada and Josh Kaufman, one of their community sponsors, to me has been one of the best mentors for me in the space. And I think everything from their community outreach to their incredibly good technical side and their entrepreneurial spirit with projects like Defuse, I think they're just a top BP in the space.
Yeah, and they've been contributing since the beginning. So thank you, EOS Canada.
Yeah, thank you, EOS Canada. I know I speak with Josh often, and Josh is really awesome, and Alex and Mark, of course. They have a really great team. If I was going to name any block producer, the first one that comes to my mind is Block Matrix. So Block Matrix is kind of an underdog in EOS. Maybe some people who are watching haven't even heard of Block Matrix, but Block Matrix is a really excellent technical team. Pete from Block Matrix runs about 90% of the API traffic on EOS through his proxy. And he has a proxy that balances based on where you are in the world and what requests you're making to the block producers. So he's running like such an amazing service for people to use. Like we're using it at Sense now, and I recommend every app to use that as their API node to communicate with the network. API nodes are critical for applications to be able to work because that's the only way the applications can talk to the blockchain. And what Pete created is just massive, and it's amazing that he's as low in the ranking as he is with the level of contribution. You know.
Well, it is. We just come out of the Chinese New Year, and so I feel it's important to focus on a Chinese block producer in this case, and I think the one that I'm going to highlight is EOS Canon.
Yeah.
Just because of the fact that they're really a community-based project. They've been, aggregating all of the Chinese community, putting together the separate groups. Love Larry and everybody over there. And so I want to just kind of give a shout out to the Chinese and, thank them for the wonderful contributions they've been making
to the New Year.
To the EOS community and wish not just EOS Canon, but, everyone in the EOS ecosystem that resonates with China, happy Year of the Pig.
Yes.
And, what a wonderful thing. So maybe it's worth taking just a couple of seconds on, criteria as well. What is our process? We're not like, we're not just kind of like randomly picking names out of a hat.
Yeah, this isn't just people that we like. We like you, we don't like you. That's how you get a vote.
And there's a lot of block producers that, we're friends with that are not on this list.
That's true.
And just because you're not on the list doesn't mean we don't love you.
That's totally true.
We're limited to 30.
Yeah.
and we have some interesting criteria. I mean, you'll notice that I don't think we have anyone in the top 7.
I don't know if we do. Yeah, I don't think we do.
And the top 7 don't need us, right? If anything, there's part of me that says we shouldn't even be picking anyone in the top 21.
Yeah, maybe.
Because some of the value that we can provide is in pointing out the, less obvious. Thank you, Block Matrix, for all that you're doing. Because that's one of the things that we can do. One of the problems we have today is it's a lot of work to pick 30 block producers. Most participants and EOS token holders, couldn't recite 30 block producers. And to pick 30 block producers requires actually doing some diligence. I mean, you have to really look at the top 60, at least to be able to, and then it's pick half. I mean, you could almost throw darts at a board.
Yeah.
And we actually spend time, all of us are very active in the ecosystem looking at all of the block producers, and it's a lot of work, which is why we're doing this, because, this is the value of a proxy. Most of us don't have the time to understand who the top 100 block producers are, figure out who are the best of the top 100 or the ones that, should be voted for, and the maintaining of it. Just because someone's a great block producer today doesn't mean they're going to be a great block producer tomorrow. This is an ongoing task.
This is not a set up a server and run it once and then just check on it every now and then type of job.
Yeah, this isn't proof of work and plug in a GPU or an ASIC and
in your garage.
Yeah. This requires active management.
Yeah.
These are super nodes.
That's one piece of our criteria, right? Is response time. That's very important. I think, in fact, you quoted Dan Larimer in the past that said any VP should be able to answer a call within 15
24/7, 15-minute response times. Yeah, I think that's like a pretty reasonable expectation. Even within an hour, but to be reachable, to have a way for people to contact you, to make that really clear, especially other block producers. I would say that's a really good top criteria. But also, like Brock was saying, it's not just about being reachable or running a server. It's about looking to continuously improve the network. It's that Kaizen idea that I know you love to talk about, right? Like the continuous improvement of ourselves and also whatever we're working on, whatever we're doing. And so we really want to support block producers that are being an active participant in everything that's happening at EOS, whether it's with community stuff or technology or both, but hopefully everything. I think the top block producers that I can think of really do it all. They're helping to support people, they're supporting developers and applications, and they're also doing community events and helping out people who are just trying to figure out what's this EOS thing.
Yeah, and I guess it's worth noting, even if we haven't chosen you in this initial list of 30, the block producers are unsung heroes. They are doing so much work to support the EOS ecosystem, and and most of them are doing it at a loss. I mean, this is not, they are not being, adequately rewarded, certainly with the EOS price where it is. I imagine most block producers are losing money.
No, it's true. There was a poll that was done. Who did that poll, Justin? Do you remember who did that poll?
I don't know that I saw it. Was it on Twitter or?
No, there was a poll that someone did where they asked block producers, at what price are you profitable? At what price are you firing people? At what price are you shutting down? Yeah. And it was $4 was the break-even price on average for most block producers. Some block producers might have higher costs, depending on where their servers are and what quality of servers they have. I think another block producer from our list that we should talk about right now is Greymass. The Greymass has just been so helpful from day one. They're Steemit witnesses. So they already have experience running, this type of software in this type of environment because the equivalent of a block producer on the Steem blockchain is a witness. And Greymass API handles some huge percentage. Greymass and Sweden both run the history nodes. And that means that you can get the entire history of your account in their API nodes. And there's only a few of them that are doing this. I think there's maybe Tribe and a couple others, but these two guys, like Sweden and Greymass, have been carrying the weight for everyone. And sometimes they're not even in the top 21, providing the most critical service, arguably, to applications.
Yeah, that's, I think, a big part of, I know why I'm doing this, and I suspect it's for all of us, is, these block producers are doing very, very important work. And, I love exchanges. One of our policies is we don't support exchanges because exchanges have a primary business model, right? They're making money. The exchange business, most of us know, is very lucrative if you have a successful exchange. And one of my fears, one of my concerns are these really strong, amazing contributors from the communities where their entire silo is to be a block producer. And where those block producers reside in the ranking determines their income and determines their viability. And, I think a big part of why I'm doing this is to make sure that the block producers are getting the support they need from the community. Mm-hmm. It's very hard for the community to do the work. And so we're hoping to do that work on behalf of the community. And this is liquid democracy. You can proxy with us as long as you want. And if you don't like what we're doing, you're free to leave. We're here to basically be workhorses, to be stewards, to take some of the workload off of token holders and to make sure those people that need to be rewarded for doing the work are being adequately rewarded. And I don't think there's any business model for a proxy.
There's zero business model for proxies. Proxies are doing a lot of work to help voters with a way to vote really easily on a huge variety of different things they're going to be voting on in EOS without having to spend the time and energy to research everything. Basically you can pick someone who you trust to vote with them. And if you want to pull your votes from them and switch to another one, you can. And you don't lose any tokens. It doesn't cost you anything. And the proxy doesn't gain anything from that except for more weight in the decisions that they're making. And I think one thing that's really good about our proxy, the Brock Pierce 1 proxy. And again,
it's ours. It's got my name on it, but that doesn't mean it's mine. This is the three of us are the core of the Brock Pierce proxy. And we are collectively making decisions, and I think...
we're collectively making decisions with a much bigger hour. Like, all of the people who are in our Telegram, thank you for being there, and please look us up and join if you want to be part of the conversation, because we want to take into consideration everyone's opinions when we make choices on things like referendum.
Yeah, and this isn't even just the three of us. We're just a vehicle by which the community can communicate, articulate their wishes, and our job is to be stewards to help collect that knowledge, process that knowledge, and produce results to support the overall network.
Yeah, but what we want is we want to hear from people who are actively vested in EOS with their time, totally committed to EOS in its future. What we don't want is people who are just jumping in to troll us or ask questions to cause trouble or saying that like EOS sucks for this reason or that. We don't want to hear any of that, but we do want to hear constructive criticism like, these are the reasons I support this, is the reason I don't support this, or these are the reasons I support this block producer or this referendum. Like, we want to have positive, forward-moving conversations to make really good decisions. And that's part of what we see as the future for this proxy is to keep gaining momentum with votes so that collectively we can support the things that are ultimately better for EOS in the long term.
Right. Yeah. And I'll second that completely. I think to your sentiment about the quality of conversation, if you're there to just nitpick something because you just aren't going to agree with it, then you know what? Go vote for it. That's amazing. We have referendum tools now. You can go vote. And if you really believe in that project enough and you want to see it go in another direction, build a proposal and put it up to referendum. That would be great. We would love to see more thoughtful referendums go up for people to put their voice to.
Yeah, so I think we could talk for hours and hours and hours about this, and hopefully this is the first episode of many, because this is intended to be an ongoing dialogue, both through this channel as well as the Telegram channel and any others that get created over time. But a couple of things, as I've started talking to EOS token holders, I'm finding out a lot of them are not voting.
Yeah.
Which is clear when you take a look at how many people are voting for block producers and how many people are voting on referenda, and the challenge of getting to 15% votes for referenda. This is a big issue. And what I heard from a number of token holders, which I found a little surprising because we didn't just launch. We're now, 7 months or so in, is that there's still a lot of token holders that are worried about their tokens being secure, not sure what to do. Well, and everybody, I'm sure, is very busy. And so it's just been a low priority. And so, why are token holders, and specifically whales, not staking? Why are they not participating? And what sort of advice or resources can we point them to so that we get more community engagement? This is a community. This is an open source community, and it requires community engagement, community involvement. And I think one of the most important things that we as a community need to be doing is encouraging greater community participation. And that starts with voting. And that means either vote directly as you see fit, or proxy that vote. But we need more community engagement if we want EOS to continue to do the things that it can and should be doing. At this state, the network is not going to progress in the way that it needs to. We can't pass referenda until we have more community participation.
Yeah, I totally understand that not everyone is a Tal Muskal, okay? Tal Muskal is the CTO of Liquid EOS, and he's...
Lots of love for them, too.
Yeah, we're also voting for them, but, he has an offline wallet that he runs on a Raspberry Pi that connects with a special serial cable to his computer so he can do offline transaction signing. Not everyone has that, but obviously people are worried about, will my tokens be safe? Can I use my tokens to vote? It seems like more of a risk than a reward because I don't directly gain from voting. I've heard people say this. And I think that in the beginning of the chain, totally reasonable concern because we had no wallets, nothing had been audited, no one had voted. What if all the tokens got stolen? What if we had a DAO situation? But now we're a couple months down the line, and there's definitely some really great ways to vote. And actually, we're planning to do a write-up about this on Medium or Steemit, I think, in the next few days or
weeks. So let's give that advice now.
Yeah, we'll give a little bit of the advice now.
I'll let, since you're take the lead, Ben.
Yeah, so if you want to vote offline, there is a tool from EOS Canada called EOSC that will let you download an executable and take your keys and load it onto a computer that is totally never touched the internet. You just have to install this program on there, which you will need to find a way to do that, possibly through a USB or something. And you can load your key into this application and create a transaction and then install that same program on a computer that's online, and you just take that transaction and paste it in and run it. And you can have someone help you with this if you want to. You don't even have to have them see your key or interact with your key in any way. But if you need any help with that, you could reach out to me or your local block producer or anyone in EOS. I think would be glad to help anyone with their voting and staking. And just as a note, it's actually better to have your tokens staked because then that's a security feature. When your tokens are staked and you're locking them up to not be transferred, then you have 3 days if they were ever unlocked. So in the case that someone ever got your key, or if you made a mistake in the generation of your key in the beginning of the chain, and it ends up being leaked somehow, which happened to some people out there. That's why we have EOS 911 and these other things that are helping them try to get their accounts frozen and different stuff. But you have 3 days where you can check your account and see if anything else is happening on it.
Yeah, just again, a call to action. If you haven't staked your tokens and you haven't started voting directly or indirectly through a proxy, the network needs you. You know, we need greater participation from the broader community. You know, if you care about the price of EOS, one of the best things you can do to support the EOS price is to support the EOS network, and that means get involved. You know, rock or brock the vote. You know, get out there,
Rock
please.
the vote, yeah.
You know, we need to rock the vote. This is a big deal. It may not seem to you like there's anything to gain, but the network succeeding and the network performing is what creates the gain. So please get engaged, be involved, make the time.
Definitely, it's really important. We need your votes now more than ever.
And when we mean we mean
EOS.
EOS. We don't mean our proxy. And there's other great proxies out there.
Pick a proxy.
Luke Stokes. You know, there's a bunch of great people and great groups that are attempting to fill this void. And the proxies in particular, there is no gain. You know, these are people that are truly being stewards out there in service to the community. And it is a lot of work.
Yeah,
we're doing the work anyway. But,
it's a lot of work to do it well. I mean, you can pick 30 random. You could throw darts, but a lot of these proxies that we're mentioning are not doing that. Freedom Proxy, Investing with a Difference. These people are doing a lot of work. Yeah. So if you have any questions about how to vote, just reach out to me. I'm on Twitter and Telegram under Ben Sig. I'll totally help you out, point you in the right direction.
Come to the Brock Pierce 1 Telegram channel.
Come to Telegram.
Point you in all the right directions.
Yeah, we're here to help. What else? We had a few other things we wanted to cover on this agenda, but I don't think we're trying to turn this into a 1 hour segment. I think in an ideal world, this is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think we're already going a little long, and we'll format this and tighten it up over time. But if there's anything else we want to cover here, do we want to talk briefly about any of the referenda? Do we want to talk about kind of what's going on?
I would say just stay tuned. We're going to have some write-ups about the referenda coming up based on the discussion we're having in Telegram. You know, what is the opposition and support saying? We'll have good summaries of those from a very neutral perspective. You know, what are people saying about these things before we even make a choice ourselves on how to vote on them? Just a really good summary of them, and that's something we can post about and share with everyone. So yeah, Justin and I and you, we're all working on this, kind of getting a feeling from the community about what everyone thinks.
Join us on the Telegram group. We are looking for your feedback. This is not just a show with the three of us. We're here. This is a community thing. Your opinions matter. They shape the things that we talk about. So thank you for tuning in.
Go EOS. Brock the vote.
Brock the vote.
I guess that brings us to the end of episode 1. Please tune in again next week or the week after, depending upon our availability and travel schedules.
Make sure you subscribe and click the notifications button so you can know when we're going live again, because you never know when we're going to make another video for you guys to update you.
And hit that like button.
Hit the like button, yeah. Join us on Telegram. Links are in the bottom there.